Welcome to Reading Fill in the Blanks Practice Set Number 1. As we just saw in the introduction session for Fill in the Blanks, in this question type you'll see text on your screen with a number of blanks in it. And below that text there'll be a number of words. In the exam you'll drag those words and drop them into the blanks, wherever you think is appropriate. Um, there's no negative marking for this question. Um, please note that the number of words given at the bottom that'll be larger. That's usually larger than the number of blanks that you will have. So not all words will fit in. So be careful. It's useful that once you have put in all the words in the blanks, look at the words that are remaining. Can one of those words be better than one of the words that you have put in the blanks? Look for that. Okay, and once all the blanks are there, read the passage, make sure that everything makes sense. That way, you reduce the chances of making any mistakes. So, we're going to time each of these questions, and the timer that we'll have on the screen will be 60 seconds. That is 1 minute. However, you can certainly take more time if you need. You just pause the video and come back to it once you finish the question. The reading section, it has got an overall timer. So there's no individual time limit in which you have to finish a question. Okay, the 1 minute that we use for practice is on the lower side. Okay, just because I want you to practice in more challenging circumstances, and but in the exam, you may take a minute to 2 minutes or even 2.5 minutes. So and that's something that you will know with practice, how much time you need to spend on each of these question types. Some of them you'll find simple, so you can maybe do them in less than a minute. Some of those will be difficult, so more challenging, so you can spend more time on them. As soon as now I go to the next screen, the text will appear and the timer will also start. And you'll see the words, the options for you to choose from below the text. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Okay, so that was 60 seconds. Have you been able to fill in all the blanks? If you need more time, just pause the video. All right, it's all right. Um, let's go and see what the answers are now. Here we go. The words that you see in the bowl, so those are the words which we have filled in the blanks. Let's start from the beginning. The feature of the heart of the suburb is Kebble Mall, which blank through the shopping and entertainment blank. Now, there's a simple technique that we are going to follow while doing all these fill in the blank kind of reading questions. So, what you have to ask yourself at each blank is that which of these given words, right, makes most sense. So, for example, in the first one, the feature of the heart of the suburb is Kebble Mall, which blank through. So, which word will make the best sense with the words before it and the words after it? Alright? So Kevil Mall, which dash. So out of all the given words, what is it that Kevil Mall can do through the shopping and entertainment dash? So let's look at all the words one by one, right? Once you have more practice, you'll be able to do this quickly. But for now, let's look at the words one by one. So Kevil Mall, which runs through the shopping and entertainment. Yes, it can run through uh, the shopping and entertainment area, because we often say that a road runs through the city, something like that. Kebble Mall precinct through, what does that mean? That doesn't make any sense. Similarly, Kebble Mall busiest through the shopping, again it doesn't make any sense. So Kebble Mall has to do something, or the word has to be an attribute of Kebble Mall. So in this case, there are only two words which potentially can fit in. The first is runs and the second is surrounds. But you never say surrounds through. You just say surrounds the. So if this was the feature of the heart of the suburb is Kebble Mall, which surrounds the shopping and entertainment precinct, then it would have been correct. But since this through, that's why we are putting in runs there. Similarly, let's look at the second blank now. Through the shopping and entertainment. Now we need a word here which adds to the meaning of the words before it, right? Shopping and entertainment. So what can be like go after shopping and entertainment? Usually shopping and entertainment area, yeah? And precinct, that means a designated area. So it is shopping and entertainment precinct. Similarly, let's go to the next blank. Cavill Avenue, named after Jim Cavill, an early hotel owner, is one of the blank shopping strips in Queensland. So uh, it's a shopping strip. What can a shopping strip be, right? We've already used runs and prefix. Can a shopping strip be activity? No, it can't be. Uh, Neither surrounds. Shopping is already there, so you can't be shopping. So a shopping strip, it can only be busy. And since it is, before that there is one of the, that means we are comparing amongst the group. So we put in is one of the busiest shopping strips. The next blank, and the center of dash for nightlife. So when you say center of, what are the kind of words you put in there? Center of attention, yeah, or center of activity, right? Those are the kind of words which you most often use. So that was your last blank. Uh, so that's a simple process which we follow. Look at the words and see, put the word in the blank and ask yourself, does this go with the words before it? Does it add to the meaning of the words after it? So pretty much, that's what you have to see, that the word fits into the sentence and adds to the meaning of the words which are already there. So always ask yourself. All right. All right, let's go to question number 2 now. Okay, that's 60 seconds. Um, and if you need more time, just pause the video. Let's have a look at the answers now. So, yep, those are the words which you should have put in the blanks. Let's look at each one of those in turn. So, James Beatty, a farmer, became the first European to blank in the area. So, following the same technique which we discussed in the earlier section, what can a European, basically do in the area? What word can you put in there? So, out of all the blanks that are there, settle, yeah, you can settle in the area. You can sanitize. No, you can't sanitize in the area. You can sanitize the area. So out of all the options, if you look at, the only one that fits in that a European can do in the area is settle. So that's your first blank. After that, the next one, when he staked out an 80-acre farm on the northern bank of the Nerang River, dash to present-day Kewell Avenue. So the Nerang River, okay, it is something to present-day Kewell Avenue. So what is the word that can relate Nerang River to present-day Kewell Avenue? I'll look at all the choices. So settle's already taken, proved. No, you can't. What would that mean? So one place, Nerang River is one place, and Kewell Avenue is another place. So the only word that seems to go in there is close. Nerang River close to the present-day Kewell Avenue. The farm blank unsuccessful and was sold in 1877. So the farm, a word which connects farm to the words after that. So what can happen to a farm, or what can a farm do, right? If you look at all the words. So and you know that it should also be related to the word after it, which is unsuccessful. So the only word that seems to fit in there is proved. That the farm proved, or the farm turned out to be unsuccessful, and was sold in 1877 to German immigrant Johann Meyer, who turned the land into a sugar farm and mill. Meyer also had little luck blank in the sandy soil. So he had little luck. So you need to find a word which is, you know, doing with or doing something in the sandy soil, right? Which of these words can fit in there? Growing, right? Because you will grow something in the sandy soil, and he had a little luck with that. And within a dash, had auctioned the farm. So within, that means, there has to be a boundary, a time frame, and which of these words give you a time frame? That's decade, right? A time period. And so within a decade, had auctioned the farm and started a ferry service and built the beach hotel, the main beach hotel. So once again, I'll uh, emphasize that the technique that you should follow with the blanks is basically ask yourself a lot of questions. That which word will make sense if you put it in with the words before it, with the words after it. Which of these words can be related to the words before and the words after? So if you do that, you'll never make a mistake. You'll do very well. All right. Let's go to question number 3 now. Okay, 60 seconds. Let's have a look at what the words are for the blanks. Here it is. So the first blank, golf blank is generally played. So which word out of all these will make sense with golf? So if you say golf something, it should make sense. And then it also has to be something which is generally played. So we'll start with the words from end. After golf, after is doesn't make any sense. Golf digitally is generally played. Again, doesn't make any sense. Golf team is played. No, teams play. Teams are not played. Golf televised is generally played. Doesn't make any sense. Golf virtually is generally played. Doesn't make any sense. Golf during is generally played. Again, no, makes no sense. Golf individual doesn't make any sense. Golf competition is generally played. Yeah, that seems to make sense, right? So you have golf competitions, and then competitions are played for something, which in this case is for the lowest number of strokes by an something. Now it's an and, so that means the word after it has to begin with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, and strokes by and something. So it has to be a word, which can, it has to be something which can make strokes or which can play strokes. Now, who can do that? It can be an individual, right? A person would play. So that's why it is an individual there, known simply as stroke play, or the lowest score on the most individual holes, blank, a complete round. So the lowest score has to be in a competition, or it has to be in a given time frame. And out of all the words, that the word that fits in there is during. So the lowest score during the competition, during the round, by an individual or team, known as match play. Stroke play is the most commonly seen format at blank all levels of play. So what can you add to all levels of play out of this, right? At digitally all levels of play, nope, doesn't make any sense. So if you think from your own experience, right, it would be something like at almost all levels of play. So which word is similar to that? So virtually. When you say virtually, it means pretty much all. So virtually all levels of play. Although variations of match play such as skins games are also seen in dash events. Now, some word which adds to the meaning of events. What could that be out of the words that are left? Competition's gone, individual is gone, during is gone, virtually is gone. Team in are also seen in team events. That doesn't make any sense. In digitally events, nope. You can have digital events, but digitally events doesn't mean anything. In after events, nope. So you only have televised events. As you say, this event will be televised, or this event will be broadcasted all over the world. So the word that you have to fill in is televised. I hope you're getting the hang of this. Please, watch the videos again, repeat, review, and get your mind in the frame where when you look at a blank, you try to guess. You try to think, what word that I put in will add to the meaning of the words before it and will add to the meaning of the words after it. So that's all there is, and it's, yeah, very simple. Let's look at question number 4 now. Okay, that's 60 seconds. Okay, let's have a look at the answers now. So there you have the words that you should have put in the blanks. The first one, a policy of devolution had been dashed by the three main UK parties. So by the means it's usually something done by the right three main UK parties. And out of all these words, a policy of devolution had been advocated. Yes, that can be a word there. Second, had been described can also go there, and had been created can also go there. But logically, when you think uh, what the parties will do with varying enthusiasm, uh, three different parties will not create a policy. So that doesn't make any sense. And a policy of devolution, they will not just describe. So it is advocated. Advocate is, when you support or when you put in practice, when you call for something. So that's what it means in this context. So the first blank is advocated. Second, the late Labour leader John Smith, blank, the revival of a Scottish Parliament as. So some word here which John Smith could have done, all right, um, and would add to the meaning. Uh, we'll go with the revival of a Scottish Parliament. So, what can John Smith do? John Smith can mention, John Smith can describe and create. Yep. So, out of all those words, if you look at the late Labour leader John Smith created the revival. Now, that doesn't make any sense, right? Created the revival as the that doesn't make any sense. You always say described something as, for example, uh, for example, you can say my local town is described as the Switzerland of Australia. So that's why the right word here is described. The third blank, the devolved Scottish Parliament dash after a referendum found something. So which of these words would go there? What can happen after a referendum? Yep. So some action would have been taken, and the word that fits in there is created. So the referendum was held, and as a result of that, Scottish Parliament was created. The last one, the constitutional blank of Scotland is nonetheless subject to ongoing debate. So what can it be? What can be constitutional, and what can also belong to be of status? Sorry, be of Scotland. And I just said that the word there is status because it's a constitutional status, right? And then the status is of a place. So the status belongs to Scotland. So the final blank, the word for the final blank is status. All right. How did you go with that? Did you get them correct or did you make any mistakes? Try to understand what are the kind of words and what are the kind of mistakes that you are making. Okay, but most importantly, remember to follow the process, remember to follow the method, and that will get you the good results. Uh, the last question, question number 5 now. Here we go. Okay, that's 60 seconds. Let's have a look at the answers. There you go. So the first blank, federations may be multi-ethnic and blank a large area of territory. Now, what is it that the federations can do to a large area, or how can federations be related to a large area of territory? So the only word that fits in here is cover. So federations cover a large area of territory, right? You always cover an area. It is spread over an area. So if it was federations are spread over a large area of territory, you could have used the word spread there, but not as in the form that it's there. The next blank, the initial dash creates a stability. So, which word out of the ones that are remaining, right? We'll go with initial. So what can be initial? So, can it be initial commonly? No, no meaning. Initial arguments. Yep, you can have initial arguments, for example, as in the beginning. But would the arguments create a stability? No, the arguments rather, destabilize something. So not argument. The initial spreads doesn't make any sense here. The initial especially, again, no sense. The initial common, no meaning. So the only word that fits in here is agreements. The initial agreements create a stability that encourages other dash interests. So what can you put in front of the interests? Means, can it be kind of interest or can it be something that can happen to interests? So in this case, it's very clear you got a word common because common interests or mutual interests. So that's your word. And finally, at other times, dash when common cultural factors are at play. So at other times, and then a special condition you have to put in there. Uh, what kind of other times, right? So times, especially when. Yep. So that's your obvious choice for the last blank, especially. Uh, I would strongly recommend that you play this video again and go through it one more time. And this time you pause before seeing all the answers. Spend more time and ask all these questions. Why this word fits in there? How does it add to the meaning of the word before? How does it go with the word afterwards? Right? So it's very important that you're clear on all of these points. Okay, with that, you have completed set 1 of fill in the blanks of the reading section. Take a break, replay the video, or if you are up for it, go ahead and practice more with set number 2. All the best.